Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Let's revive some robots.
In 1982, at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Charlotte Emily witnesses a boy being lured into the back room by the restaurant's founder and serial killer, William Afton. Despite her pleas for assistance being ignored by the adults present, she ventures into the back and sees Afton attempting to murder the boy. As she carries the boy back to the main stage, she is stabbed in the back by Afton, just as she reappears. After a scream of anguish directed at the customers, she succumbs to her wounds. Shortly thereafter, a puppet-like animatronic known as the Marionette emerges from its compartment holding Charlotte's corpse. Following the incident, the location shuts down, although a new location opens up shortly after. 20 years later, in 2002, and a year after the events at the second location, the animatronics' stories and related murders have turned into folklore, leading to a reoccurring local festival known as FazFest. Vanessa, William's daughter, copes with psychological trauma from her father's acts. Meanwhile, Abby, Mike's younger sister, becomes fascinated with the animatronics, whom she calls her friends. After being bullied, she attempts to repair the animatronics, discovering the likely absence of the souls within them. Mike eventually gives her a keepsake, a talking toy called the Faz Talker.
In a paranormal investigation show, Spectral Scoopers, hosts Rob, Lisa, and Alex visit the site of the 1982 incident, accompanied by former security guard Michael. During an independent exploration, Lisa deactivates a small music box in the basement, which awakens the marionette possessed by Charlotte's soul. The marionette then manipulates the new toy animatronic mascots, leading to the deaths of the three hosts and Lisa's possession by the marionette. The marionette attempts to kill Michael, who narrowly escapes. Meanwhile, Abby, using her Faz Talker, hears from Toy Chica, who directs her to the original location with an offer to repair her science project. The following day, Abby reveals her completed project to Mike and Vanessa. Vanessa becomes concerned as Abby discusses details of the location's history, including Charlotte's murder. However, Mike, already informed after calling Charlotte's father Henry, dismisses Vanessa's explanation, believing she is still suffering from her father's trauma. Yeah. Mike drops Abby off at school and visits Henry, who is distributing flyers about his daughter's murder. Meanwhile, Vanessa is captured by Charlotte while trying to return to the original location. After Abby's teacher, Mr. Berg, breaks her science project.
Which is bullshit.
Absolute
Fuck that
bullshit.
Teacher.
Yeah, that's not a teacher at all.
Mm-mm.
Abby seeks assistance from Toy Chica, who will pose as her project if Abby inputs a code. This code allows the animatronics to leave their area. The toy animatronics begin exploring the town, with Toy Chica accompanying Abby to the science fair and murdering Mr. Berg.
Mm-hmm.
Deserved. No, I'm just kidding. Mike, after learning from Abby's school that she's missing, realizes she might be at the original location and heads there.
Spoiler warning. Skip ahead. Shortly after being released, the toy animatronics wreak havoc across the town, attempting to kill multiple families in their homes. Trying to stop the massacre, Mike stays at the location to track the animatronics, while Vanessa goes through town and takes them on one by one. Toy Chica and the marionette, who is hiding inside of Chica's chest compartment, makes their way towards the Schmidt home.
Which is crazy.
Yep. Where the marionette possesses Abby. Realizing the danger at hand, Mike goes to the newer location and makes a desperate plea to the children's souls that haunt the location to help save Abby. Mike and Vanessa make their way to the house, and Mike uses a music box given to him by Henry earlier to put the marionette to sleep and free Abby from her control. After the marionette's defeat, Michael and all of the toy animatronics appear in their living room, where Michael reveals himself to be Vanessa's brother and William Afton's son.
Interesting twist.
Determined to carry on the latter's legacy, he orders the toy animatronics to kill Mike, Abby, and Vanessa. But the newer location animatronics all arrive at the scene and dismantle the toys while Michael flees. The souls of the animatronics then start to fade away. Mike and Abby leave the house. And because Mike no longer trusts Vanessa for hiding the truth about Michael, he tells her to stay away. As Mike and Abby walk off, the marionette reawakens and possesses Vanessa.
I don't remember that last part. I just remember him going, "Stay away." And that's it.
The end. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, at the very end, the marionette like stands up behind Vanessa, who's in the doorway, and fucking just full enters, and you see her eyes get darkened.
Ew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. I loved this movie.
Same.
It's fucking great. But we're big FNAF people, so, you know. This movie was released December 5th, 2025.
Indeed.
The director is Emma Tammy. This is PG-13 horror and distributed by Universal Pictures and Cinemundo.
Yes.
I have the runtime, which is an hour and 44 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have in that regard.
Gotcha. I will say I do wish the rating were a bit more.
Yeah, I know.
Not PG-13. I think that would open up the doors for them to do a little bit more.
But if you're also trying to go off of the original content,
then yeah.
Then it's accurate.
I will say, a lot of people who started off with these are now much older. So the people who are genuinely looking forward to these movies coming out, and I think we just want it to mature with us,
I don't know. I'm not too... See, okay, this is going to be a weird statement to really quickly make. So it made sense when the Black Phone, the original one, was the rating it was. Mm-hmm. And then when we got the Black Phone 2, how visually more intense it is, but that's because the characters aged in a way that it made sense for it.
Yeah. Kind of like they had a protective barrier over them until they started getting a little older.
But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to view it, with the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, you have to understand that their base creation is based on the games. Yeah. And the games are not bloody or violent.
Yeah.
They're scary and they're really intense and they are stressful as fuck to play. But
I just wish we got a little bit more of that sense. I mean, I guess.
But the part of the problem is that you're trying to adapt a video game into a movie which has a storyline. Mm-hmm. Whereas, yes, the games have storyline because that's part of the reason as to how they even make the movies exist.
Right.
But the storyline is more of this is going to be a weird comparison, but it's kind of like Elden Ring or Dark Souls and things like that, where you can read items, descriptions to kind of learn more about the world, but you're not really learning. Yeah. There's no story really to follow.
If you didn't read those things,
you really wouldn't know a whole lot, maybe, unless you looked stuff up. But really, you're getting secondary information based on mini games inside the game that you play, that you kind of have to, there's no text. So it's you have to kind of infer all of the things that are occurring.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's more like because you're reading about it or getting like bits and pieces of the lore, that's what the movies are for. Like you're diving more into that aspect than
Yes,
anything
and
else.
I mean they did kind of, but I know for a fact that I know a lot of what they're working up towards, at least in moving forward with the franchise, where they do hint at a lot of little things. They do. There is a decent amount of information, but it's also going to be curious to see how certain things that are unfortunately going to have to change with some of the lore moving forward.
Yeah.
Because there is lore stuff that's gonna have to change. Depending on like what they do.
Just the way they set it up. I really don't think they were expecting to go any further than the first one.
Yeah, but that blew up so hard.
It did blow up so hard. But I'm honestly a little concerned. I hope that we do get more movies. I will say ratings for this were not good.
Yeah.
It only got 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
yeah.
But to counter that, the budget was like 36 million to 51 million, but in the box office globally they got like 240 million. So that's not bad.
They did very well.
They did well in the box office. It's just ratings.
I don't think they're going to care about the ratings, because also you have to think, unfortunately, a lot of the people who are going to be doing the ratings and bitching and complaining
our fans
are the fans
of the game.
And you can't take a game like Five Nights at Freddy's and do a 1-to-1 re-adaptation. That's not how that works.
No.
There's nothing to that. Unfortunately. What they did in the movie is about as good as you're going to get to getting game mechanics happening inside of it. And that literal only time that you see anything associated with the game and the game mechanics is when Mike is in that room.
Yeah.
In that office. That's the only time. And they don't even go full throttle with all of it.
Right.
Like, that right there, unless you want a hour and 44 minutes was this movie of that alone.
Right. You're not very, very bored. You're going to be very bored.
Like,
go play the game if that's what you wanted.
They're giving you more context. And here's what it is. Do you want to know what really it is that I think that people are not really paying attention to, especially if it's a fan giving it such a low rating? A lot of the stuff that you're seeing throughout the movie is based off of, or at least in reference to, the mini games that you're playing in the game. Is kind of like they're building off of other secret information that's being given out to the player as the game progresses.
Right.
So it's like, all of those bits and pieces. And it's also, you have to understand, hi guys, they already have all of these games released.
Yeah.
Also, they just last year came out with the newest video game for the franchise, just adding on to the lore that already exists, which means also these people have lore that they can use that's from other games to give emphasis in this one to then lead into the other ones.
Right.
So will you see a reference to something that might be a lore thing later? Yeah, because they have to. That's how lore works. You have to set up lore.
Yes.
You have to have a chapter where they introduce all the characters and all the concepts before you can actually get into the rest of the book. Otherwise, what the fuck are you going to know?
Yeah.
So I get it, but, it is frustrating. There is a post-credit scene in the movie which sets up the third one, which they're going to make no matter what. So we know no matter what, and especially because I guess Matthew Lillard made a comment about the fact that he had already signed on to do multiple movies.
Oh, amazing.
So there's no questions about the fact that they are moving forward with the franchise.
Yeah. If it's Matthew Lillard, everyone loves him.
Yeah, he's a beautiful creature. And the fact that him and Skeet were together in this movie were just fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll get into that when we get into the cast list and everything. But the end credit scene of the movie it's in reference to the next game and next film, which takes place in essentially which is quite funny, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's very Halloween Horror Nights coded. Because it's essentially it takes place where you are an actor who's pretending to be the security guard inside of a haunted house that's themed after the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff.
Which is crazy.
So
meta.
it's a haunted house themed after Five Nights at Freddy's, and you are essentially a scare actor inside the house pretending to be the security guard.
Super meta.
Real meta. Because what they essentially did is the end credit scene is some guys going into the original location and scavenging.
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh my God, I think we got a real one.
And the, oh my God, I think they got a real one is Afton in the spring trap suit.
They're like, oh, it smells disgusting.
And they don't realize. So essentially, that is how they introduce it. But what's wilder, and this is a little hint and a little lore drop for the third game. In the third game, you start the game on the first night with nothing happening. Springtrap's not there yet.
Oh.
It's not until like either the second or the third night, one of those two, where they're like, oh yeah, we found a real one.
Jesus.
So you have to think. So in context of story-wise, that scene we see at the end credits of that
It's already like halfway through.
is already into the movie of the third one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means your character is already there acting as a character inside the haunted house.
Yep.
And then they find the figure and then they bring it in. And then he becomes a problem.
Insane.
So it's kind of fascinating when you realize the correlations between the game and that. It's almost pulling like a Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 vibe, where it's like one takes place literally right after the other vibe, where it's that end credit scene and then we're going to get the third one.
Yeah.
But
Where he jumps out of the house and runs away.
quite literally. So again, they're going to definitely continue with the franchise because no matter what, Five Nights at Freddy's has got a very rich lore to it. And they have enough content to be able to go through. And I'm just curious how they're going through because also, which I assume we are going to talk about it later, is that they're hinting towards things that are way down the line. Like movie 5.
Oh.
Down the line. Based on some of the Easter eggs that are in the movie. It's like, so you gonna tell me that's there because that's in game 5, which means we're on movie 2. So that means movie 5 has to happen. Because how you gonna make that and that not be
right
important?
I just love that I get to see my boy Josh on screen some more. Thanks.
So you can, if you've got anything else, go for it. But get that cast list also if you want to, because I don't know.
Yeah.
How many murders?
Yeah,
kill
so
count?
I got a death count of 20.
20.
But that includes the animatronics, people, and ghost children.
Yeah.
So all those things.
Also, Mike taking out Balloon Boy, that was for all of us. That's for all of us who had to deal with that motherfucker in that game. All the fuck Balloon Boy. Fuck him. Hell yeah, Mike ripped his head off and fucking threw that shit across the room.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it scared him in the first movie, so
yeah.
Makes sense. Right. The cast. Yes. So, I already talked about my boy Josh Hutcherson, who plays our main character, Mike. Then we've got Piper Rubio as Abby again, Elizabeth Lale as Vanessa, and Matthew Lillard as William. So those are all of our returning actors and actresses.
Yes.
And then we've got a few new characters that are featured. Like we mentioned before, Mr. Skeet Ulrich as Henry. So the father of Charlotte, who died.
That was the part that I forgot to mention. Because also, adding on to the Mother of God, which also is part of the reason why it was so funny and kind of giggly with Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich being in the thing, is that also in that post credit you're hearing Henry having given sent a voicemail or something like that to Mike, basically saying he and William worked together. that they work together.
That's meta.
That's meta as fuck.
Yeah.
But that they work together on the animatronics,
Yeah.
and that like William started to take it way too far.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect of it, which definitely leads into future games.
Yeah.
Which is another part that I forgot until you started talking about it. I was like,
yeah.
oh, yes.
No, I forgot that too.
Yeah.
We had McKenna Grace as
Mhm.
Lisa, also technically the marionette for a second.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Carter, who plays Michael Afton.
I also have Audrey Lynn Marie, who is Charlotte.
Ah, yes.
Because I was like, okay, that's important because that's literally the origins of the marionette.
Yes.
Also, the secondary name for the marionette is also known as the puppet.
Right.
So if you ever hear puppet or the marionette, it's the same thing.
Gotcha.
Essentially. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I did not. I strug bust hard to get information.
Scoured the internet.
I fucking scoured hard. Dude, okay. I thought that like with us doing this in February, like starting back up in February, I was like, oh, cool. This movie came out in December.
That gives you a couple
That
months.
gives me a couple months where like information will start coming out about like materials and how things were made and all this other kind of stuff. I go to look, nothing. They're like, the robots, they're real. It's cool. I'm like, that's not, what are they made of? What materials were used to create these new toy puppets?
Yes.
You know, what went
Technically new, but not new.
Yeah, like what went into the, like, I tried looking up set design. There's a river in the new one.
And a carousel.
Cool. I'm like, but like,
How was that made?
how was that?
Who decided that?
How big is it?
How big-
was any
yeah.
of it? Was any of it on a? Was it a bag? Like, can you get? Was it all hand like made from floor to ceiling, or is it like
An actual
did you do
location that they
that
went
they
to
redid
and
or
redid?
anything? Nothing.
Nothing.
So fucking hard to get hyper. Like everything was very vague, and it was really frustrating.
Yeah.
I was like,
which, to be honest,
little
they
annoying.
might not come out with stuff like that just because they're probably still using those sets, if anything. But I don't know.
but no, because like yes, but like no, because technically
They're not supposed to go back there.
in game 3,
Yeah.
it doesn't even take place anywhere
Mm-hmm.
in those locations at all.
Right.
So I'm like, mother of God. The literal thickest part of my notes that I have is about costume design for a couple of characters, for 2 characters.
Yeah. And there's so many more characters.
And I'm just like, you can't, like, I get it that Jim Henson made the puppets. How'd he make the puppets?
With what?
With the what and the how and the how long did it take? How many iterations of them did they have to do?
Right.
You know, things that I'd like to know.
Right? That are important.
You know, practical effects. Like, yeah, cool. They have practical effects. What went into those?
Yeah.
You know, like obviously they had CGI moments. What went into that? I struggle bussied a lot with this bad boy.
Yeah. Honestly,
So-
this is just a cry to put more information
Yeah.
out there.
Because even videos that I watched, I was like, okay, maybe if I watch some of these, they're really short, but like maybe they'll provide a little bit of information. They were like, these suits were puppeteered by puppeteers. I'm like, mother of fuck, I know. They're real suits. I get it. How did he make them? Whatever. You know, I'm assuming, okay, based on the visuals of them and knowing Jim Henson, this is all me talking out my booty hole because I don't know. Because guess what? Not a lot of information out there. I'm going to assume that they fucking sculpted them because I know that the only decent piece of information that I did get is that Scott Cawthorne gave them game files
Oh, yeah.
to let them see references so that they could get them as accurate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Jim Henson then and his creature shop took those and then made like sculpts and then cast them in something, some sort of material, whether they kind of vibe fiberglass, but that's only because I work in an amusement park. So the texture of the way that their shininess looks like you would see in amusement parks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it makes sense maybe, but I don't know the specific materials that were used. They could have 3D printed some of it too, because that's, I know, a big new piece of technology that makes things interesting. So I have no fucking clue. Obviously, the suits were extremely heavy because they're massive pieces of machinery. And there are creature actors inside of all of the suits. They are all very real suits. They made sure that, like, obviously they wanted to have the most amount of interaction between the actors and the animatronics as possible.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I understand that. And I guess that they also made sure that the creature actors that they did hire, you've seen like the dancers that like do the hyper intense robotic like movements and stuff. Like, have you seen those, like, those people? Essentially, they used those kinds of like dancers and performers inside the suits to make sure that the movements were as robotic as possible. Literal people who train themselves to move robotically.
Like robots, yeah.
So that's kind of what they did to kind of combine that. Obviously, this is me more like comparing. Literally, I have a fucking note here that says similarity to game. Because I'm like, that's about as much as I can provide for you with this, is how many similarities there are between the game and the regular and the film.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, it's weird because this is the second game, but it's technically, the movies make it linear. The games, this is technically a prequel. So the second game is a prequel because the toy animatronics are actually the original animatronics. They are the first ones made, which is wild because they are so much more technically visibly advanced than the ones that you see in the first game, which are technically version 2.
Yeah.
But at least in the way that the game kind of explains it, because there's also the withered animatronics that you will encounter and see in the game and also in the movie when he's in the office and you see these like really broken down versions of the animatronics. That's the withered versions of, they were essentially the prototypes. So the withered ones were prototypes and they were scrapping them for parts, which is what led those, everything that happened in the game leads to the essentially like removal of the toy versions and ends up using the prototype versions to create the versions that you see in the first game, which is why they look so similar. So that kind of explains that part, which also shows that Mangle was essentially stricken from the character roster and changed into Foxy. If you go by the progression, technically Mangle existed before Foxy did.
Yeah.
And Mangle's a terrifying creature.
Yes.
The fact that they thought that a pull apart and put back together animatronic was a good idea.
Ooh.
Bad choices were made. But another key thing that's a similarity between the game and the movie is, which is hilarious because Mike's even like, what the fuck? How is this supposed to work?
Right. Yes.
Because it's an aspect in the game where you put on, because you have Phone Guy. There's a reoccurring thing throughout a lot of this is it's always some person's voice over a radio or a speaker or a phone or whatever the fuck. You're always going to have some sort of something like that. In this one, you'll have another phone guy who's talking to you, and he tells you that for some reason the toy animatronics, or not the toy animatronics, the toy animatronics and the withered animatronics, all of them think that you are basically an endoskeleton that is not inside of a suit.
Yes.
And thus they will try to stuff you inside of a suit. So to convince them that you are also an animatronic in a suit, you have to use essentially like a faceplate of a Freddy Fazbear to put over your face to protect you when they show up in the room. And they incorporated that into the actual film as well, but definitely keying into the reality of how the fuck is that supposed to work? But like, okay, you know, the suspension of disbelief in that regard, from a game mechanic to these are real people living in a quote quote real world where these things are occurring. How the fuck is that supposed to work? But like, I guess it does. So there's a lot of that. Also, Mike doing whatever he's doing on the computer, that's a whole other thing that's not inside the game. That doesn't exist. That's something that they did to, I guess, move the plot forward in the film. There's no like tracking thing. There's no real in the game. There's no like they're trying to like get out of there's nothing like that really. So that's very much movie based, a lot of that. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting similarities. Like obviously we see it for a second, but nothing gets to be done with it, which is like, I like the fact that they designed the office pretty much a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Because technically the vents that are on the side, if you're eagle-eyed, and obviously a lot of us gamers who've seen the game, played the game, watched the game, however we've done it, we'll see that there's a button above these very open vents. That's an aspect of the game because you press the button over the vent to activate the light to see if there's an animatronic there.
Yeah.
So there's aspects of it that you definitely get to see that are kind of fun, little additions and little nods to what's going on. So something that's interesting because they have to expand once the characters get out. There is a scene where, as we've talked about it, now there's a Faz Fest occurring in the town, which is fascinating. But like, it's interesting to see the alterations that they're making to the lore and the story and the additions that they're adding onto it, but still maintaining a lot of the original concept of it, which is fascinating to kind of see them play with it. But in that sequence, it actually featured over 150 handmade costumes.
Oh, wow.
Including the props like masks, paper mache, and things like that created by the costume department. They had some, different characters and recognizable faces and things like that, which is really interesting because that after everything, they're going to move forward. And it's probably going to be it's going to be a maintained aspect to some degree. Right. And it maybe is part of the inspiration as to why the haunted house occurs. We have no idea. So, because technically in the game, there's no information on how, like, you're just like, boom, I'm an actor inside of this haunted house. So I'm assuming that they're going to expand on the fact that, like, oh, Faz Fest, it's Halloween season.
Yeah.
Maybe something to that effect. I could definitely see something happening in that regard. But, so, with the very minuscule amount of information I have, like we said, we got the set for the original pizzeria, which has like the water ride in it, the themed toy areas. Basically, it's keeping up with the idea of a 1980s aesthetic with the colorful atmosphere, because you do, at least in the movie, get a version of it before everything becomes dilapidated when you get at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because there's a lot of information that's happening inside of this movie that my brain is also interacting with other information that I'm like, okay, well, but so then what happened to that? Because I know those were even first before these guys became first. So what happened to those firsts? So there's a lot of, because it's also the curiosity of Afton being in the suit. There's some golden information that's kind of more secretive about it. The one piece of information, the more chunkle that you're going to get from me tonight, is going to be about the marionette. So, and more in regards to costume design, technically. So, okay. In the movie, they set it up as she's essentially like I would say the soul is essentially like a anger, revenge seeking soul. And her whole goal is to escape. And essentially, even in the movie, it's to seek retribution against parents.
Yeah.
Because all of the adults in the pizzeria wouldn't listen, which is fucking wild. Yeah. I know for a damn fact that if a kid came up and said, a man took a kid back that way, all of the parents would be like, yes. Hell nah. And they'd be busting ass to go figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a kid coming up to them as panicked as Charlotte was.
Yeah, she was panicked.
Hell no. There's no way that there's no fucking way. I'm sorry.
I think it was just speaking to like...
It's speaking to the idea of like, you're a kid, nobody's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Vibe. Until everything that happens and you're just kind of like...
she dies.
Oh shit. Yes. So part of it, we get Lisa's character and Abby, both of those two characters end up getting possessed by the marionette. So essentially part human, part hybrid, which is fascinating because it explains some stuff that's going to happen later on in movies, which is kind of interesting. Especially just there's a lot of brain stuff happening. And I'm just like, okay, how did that happen? How are you going to explain things that happen later? Because I can make a reference called the scooping room, and I need some explanations because how's the marionette doing what she's doing when I know that the scooping room will exist?
Oh.
So those who know, I'm curious to see what their reasoning is going to be or how they're going to fiddle with all of that. But aside from that, a lot of the preemptive stuff associated with the marionette, especially when it came to Abby's outfit, leading up to before Abby becomes possessed by the marionette, she is seen wearing striped clothing, which is supposed to mimic the idea of the marionette because the marionette is dressed in stripes. So they intentionally dressed her.
You're talking about Abby or Charlotte?
Abby. They dressed Abby in a striped outfit intentionally to foreshadow that she's about to become possessed by the marionette. And they came up with names where it's the Lisanette and the Abinette.
Yeah, that's funny.
For the different versions of them. And essentially what it is that they just get, obviously, the marionette face visual to them. They get the striped outfit, and then they get the elongated limbs and everything like that.
Yeah. Ew.
Because the marionette itself can't physically stand on its own.
Yeah.
Is essentially the vibe that I've gotten from the way that they've described it. Is it can't stand up on its own. It needs to have a human host in order to be able to move around.
Right.
So another interesting addition, which I didn't really realize this, but it makes a whole lot of sense because it leads into some information that's going to be later on, which is all of our Afton family members all have a tinge of purple to their clothing.
Interesting. Why?
That's some lore stuff that's going to play into in later films. If anybody knows who the purple guy is, you'll understand. It plays into future stuff, which will definitely probably get explored in later movies. So there's some interesting play with outfits and making them work with each other. Like even the outfit that they had Lisanette's version in, literally it was like a sweater that had buttons put on it, and then they added additions to the bottom of the outfit in order to make it look like stripes, to like just add on to it. But really, that's about all I have. I know there's some stuff that you're going to bring up that I will be able to talk about or like add to. But yeah, for me, unfortunately, that's about as much as I could get.
Yeah.
In my side of the world.
Well, hopefully they'll drop some knowledge on us soon.
Hopefully.
And then maybe you can talk about it when they do the third film.
Yeah.
For me, I just wanted to talk about, we mentioned some Easter eggs.
Yes.
But first, I wanted to get into like the history of animatronics themselves. Because in the last episode I didn't, and I think that'd be cool. So basically, animatronics didn't actually really exist until the 20th century.
Yeah.
But like the technique begins with clockmakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So advanced mechanical clocks dating back to pre-industrial revolution France featured like mini animated characters that would come from the clock when it struck the hour, as you know.
Oh yeah.
And like animatronics now, the movements of, you know, these automatons were programmed using mechanical gears to go with the specific hours. And then later the sounds were introduced to attract like attention and other cutesy little storytelling bits.
Because I also know that like you can go to some museums and see like
they were some
the
intense
automaton kid that can write, or like the swan that, you know, you crank up and then
so very much like so
the stepping stones of what would become animatronics.
Today, the modern era of animatronics actually began with, shocker, Walt Disney.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
No, not at all. This man, in my last semester of college, I actually like did 2 different classes on him, and it's insane, like the amount of
innovation,
lore and history, and innovation.
Yeah.
Huge.
That he was involved in,
Yeah. He honestly, I think, is one of the main people that have like truly transformed like art and media and the way we view all of that. It's insane. But
it's fucking Disney, man.
Yep. But he started in 1961 by developing, you know, animatronics for his entertainment and film using his Imagineers. And the first one they created was this 9-inch tall dancing man figurine. You know, today's standards, maybe not. Not great, but
knowing what we've seen in the parks.
Yes.
Even Universal, like everything. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Right? But, you know, the little man captured everyone's attention and, you know, started the ball rolling for all these innovations and updates and advances in robotics, programming, rapid prototyping, and just lots of other techniques. As for like different main points for animatronics, they started, you know, in 61 at Walt Disney with Walt Disney. And then in 1963, he created these enchanted tiki birds.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were the first
tiki birds.
Yes, the enchanted tiki birds. And they were the first robots that were shown at Disneyland. And then that same year, Abraham Lincoln was the first ever human animatronic figure and was displayed at the World's Fair.
What's even wilder is, by today's standards, because I almost said it out loud, the tiki birds are a simple design.
Yes.
Simple animatronics.
Yes.
Whereas I know that like when fucking the Lincoln one came out, that was like, oh my God, like mind blowing.
So I think they were just like testing the waters a little bit. It was probably a thing where like the birds came out the beginning of the year and that really gained attention.
Because I know the thing, at least the big thing about the Abraham Lincoln one was the fact that he went from sitting to standing. Or standing to sitting, one of those two.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the big
right.
like.
Yeah, he
that was the like. Oh my god!
Yeah.
It stood up.
So, yeah. So 1963 really marks that
Come on,
shift.
the World's Fair.
The World's Fair. Yeah, right.
We all know.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of like
Yeah.
what we think of a
Discovery.
lot of our original Disney rides
Yeah.
came from.
Mm.
Came from the World's Fair.
Yeah. It's wild. Then in the year after, the first animatronic to feature in a movie, because they started developing it in 61, and to attract them at his World Fair displays.
Yeah.
But they weren't actually incorporated into the park the park in 63, and then in 64 they were finally incorporated into his movies, with Mary Poppins being the first one.
Wow.
There was a little bird in the film.
Oh yes, the one that's like on her. Is it the one that's on her finger?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I do believe so. And honestly, it wasn't until about like 20 years later that there was like another serious development, with Ben Franklin becoming the first ever animatronic to walk upstairs. He climbed the steps of Thomas Jefferson's loft in The American Adventure.
Okay.
So there's that. It is all very, very Disney. Then there was...
Can't help it when they're the kind of the origin
Yeah.
of our modern
Yes.
animatronics.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of everyone else built upon that,
Mm-hmm.
and to some degrees, depending on who you talk to, exceeded.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So it's insane. But he did animatronics. He changed theme parks. He changed animation. He like so many things. It's wild.
Which is sad. Also at the same time.
Yeah.
Because the number of times that Disney's already gotten their booty kicked by the fans of Disney for having anything AI,
Right.
image based,
Right.
and you're just like, fucking Disney.
Right. He would be appalled.
You are known, literally known for your art.
Yeah.
How you gonna? I remember, and so it's definitely interesting to see, because I know that, although I haven't gotten to see it myself because I haven't been to Disney in quite some time, but I know that like a lot of the animatronics that are in like the Star Wars area are really on that more advanced side, which also makes me think about out at Universal with the fact they have the whole new Epic. And the animatronics there
those are insane,
fucking amazing. Some of the most, because even I remember when they had their videos come out, and they were like, they had to build and create new technology.
No, literally,
in order to make some of those.
Walt Disney walked so Universal
could
fucking light
sprint.
speed.
Yeah, so they could fucking sprint.
Oh God. Like,
they were like, cool, we're gonna make these look hella lifelike,
and they
let's go.
Are actual humans, and you can't convince me otherwise. Like that's a human in there. Sorry.
Because like, I kid you not, I think there was a day, I don't know if it was the two of us or me and another friend, something like that, but I know that I went to Disney with someone, and this is weird, the Frozen ride broke down.
It was me.
It was you.
It
Okay.
was me.
I was like, I couldn't remember if it was
Oh,
you
it
or
was
someone
me.
else. And we were sitting there.
Oh yeah.
Right near, like we could see the boats, and we were right there.
Yeah.
And we
was
were
us.
waiting. I remember us doing that ride, and I think it was the first time I had ever rode it. And there's a scene where Elsa's up on like a balcony making movements, and then your boat goes backwards.
Yes.
I truly believed in that moment that was an actor with like a mask on, so that the mask was projecting Elsa's face, but it was a real person doing the movements.
Right.
My brain did not fully comprehend that was an animatronic.
Yep. It's nuts in there.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And now having gone on things like Frankenstein's Unchained,
that
like,
is the best ride. You can't convince me otherwise.
and going on Ministry and seeing some of those, I'm like, I thought that was CG. I thought that was like projections, not a real animatronic.
Right.
It took me a second.
Yeah, I will say the mix of like screens versus animatronics did throw me off a bit and took me in and out too much, but that's fine.
Yeah. But it's
still stunning.
Yeah, still stunning.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Hello?
But
I couldn't do that.
dude,
Would
crazy.
like to. I work there, so.
Yeah.
The another like big one for animatronics was the full-size T-Rex.
Yes.
In the 90s. I think we all know which film that was for.
The baby.
Yeah.
The baby.
Full-size
The sweaty, leaky
animatronic
baby because of all the water. It makes me always laugh. The fact that they had to fucking like towel her and pat her down.
Yeah.
Because it's like she leaky water from all of the rain being used.
Yes. She's just a leaky girl. I wonder where they have that thing. I want to see it.
Because I know that Universal, during the anniversary, when they had the tribute store, they had the actual Triceratops.
Oh, was it?
That was the real one from the film.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Love. Here are some animatronics in movies you might not have known were animatron. No, I'm just kidding. You probably should know that.
Girl, there was a couple times where you were like, nah, that's not an actor.
No, yeah, true. Well, Jaws, obviously.
Yeah, that's an animatronic.
E.T., maybe you thought he was a puppet. That's an animatronic.
Yeah.
Jabba the Hutt.
Yep.
Free Willy.
Weird.
Yeah. You'd think they would use a real whale,
You would think.
but they didn't.
Nope.
Jurassic Park, as I just mentioned. The Terminator.
Yeah.
King Kong.
Yes.
And one of my personal favorites, Gizmo from the Gremlins. He's a
Little
little
baby.
animatronic. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the history into animatronics and robotics and all the things.
Got some
Very cool.
Easter eggs?
I do have some Easter eggs.
Yes.
So within the movie, there were a lot.
A lot of Easter eggs.
And so I just picked like half.
There's some that are like very big that hint towards future stuff. There's some very big ones that hint towards future stuff.
Okay. Well, if I don't have something,
Yes, I got you.
please add it.
Yes.
But in the intro scene, there are 3 arcade games that are shown, and that is Freddy and Friends, which is like the old pixel style of the game.
Yep.
And then there's Pop Goes Adventure. Then there's also Candy Fishing, which is a reference to the Five Nights at Candy series.
I'm
apparently.
sad that they did not do Princess Quest. I'm a little mad at you for that. Because in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, there's a whole thing about the Princess Quest games.
Oh.
Like, there's a whole thing about it. And they're arcade machines.
Well,
And I'm like, why didn't y'all do that?
Missed opportunity.
But the pixelated stuff is a lot of the pixelated stuff that you'll ever find inside the games all has way more to do with giving you like its secret lore information that will be in that pixelated style.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where you'll see a lot of that style. That arcadey visual will be way more associated with like, here's some secret lore information that you have to play through, but it's in this like pixelated arcadey style.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But those were the 3 arcade games at the beginning that you can see. A little further in, Shadow Bonnie makes a brief appearance when Mike starts hearing the withered animatronics.
Yeah.
She's visible for a few frames before Mike shines a flashlight past him.
Yeah.
So there's that. What is Shadow Bonnie?
So, okay. Which is interesting because there's technically also Shadow Freddy.
Okay.
And they didn't fully hint at Golden Freddy either, but it's kind of the same kind of concept. In the game, you'll have moments where like a shadowed version of like Freddy will appear, and you obviously it's a split second kind of occurrence because you flash your light
Oh, it's
and then
just
it
their
vanishes.
shadow. I see what you mean. I thought it was like a new kind of.
But like Golden Freddy, it's kind of the same concept. It's a oh my god, what the fuck is that? Why is that here? And then it fades away.
Gotcha.
But the Golden Freddys tend to last a little bit longer depending on which game you're playing. But it's literally like a did I see that? Was that real? What is that? What was that sort of situation?
Right.
With those.
It's like, did I see that? Did I not?
Yeah.
Was that there?
You're like, I swear to God. But was it?
Right.
Yeah.
When telling Vanessa about how her school project was completed, Abby mentioned that Toy Freddy's fingers were too fat to help, which apparently is a reference to Toy Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night line.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's not my fault I have these fat plastic fingers and can't press the buttons.
Yes. Okay. So there's a version of the game. It's not. So it's obviously part of the franchise, but I don't believe it's part of the what would be considered the main lore based selections of stuff. It's more of like every single character that they've ever introduced in all of the games. You can increase their intensity level, and you can pick and choose who you have. And in he's playing the original Five Nights at Freddy's on a computer, and you're supposed to be helping him.
Gotcha. Interesting.
But when you don't help him and he kills you for it, he's like, I got big old fingers. You got to help me. Like, what the heck? Like, I can't press the buttons. Yeah, because he's essentially playing the original Five Nights.
Gotcha.
On a console, on like a computer.
That's funny.
It's very cute.
In the office, there are 2 sticky notes. One on the pizzeria's map that says "Give gifts, give life," and there's one on the monitor that says "You can't." Do you know what that might be in reference to?
Okay. I'm trying to not get my games mixed up. I know that there are some secret mini games that get done in different things where like you have different priorities that you have to do in order to get a successful quote ending of it, or like the secret ending or secret extra lore or things like that. And I think those are just references towards that kind of vibe.
Gotcha. Okay. So on the river voyage, there are these like railings on the bridge, and actually they are shaped in like Toy Freddy's head.
Cool.
So I want to go back and watch that and see that. But that was cool. Then there's why did I put this one at the end? In the intro scene, after the trap door is opened, Charlotte is lifted back up by the marionette.
Yes.
Saying it could be a reference to Henry's completion ending monologue, where he says, "I'm sorry on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die. No one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours."
That's again some more of the deeper secret lore stuff that you get in future games.
Okay.
Is that all your secrets?
No.
Okay.
The end of the code that frees the animatronics from the thing ends in CD1, a reference to the code that skips the player to night 6 in the first 2 games. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. And then in Vanessa's dreams, there are multiple photos of the Afton family. A few of them show a female who is assumed to be Mrs. Afton, but all the photos have like obstructed her face. There's another one where it's young Vanessa in a white rabbit costume, referencing Vanny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's security breach level stuff.
Yeah.
You thought Marionette possessed version of her is going to be yeah. Let's say her and Michael are not too different.
Oh, lovely.
Eventually, technically.
Great. Why do I feel like it's going to be Mike's fault? Even though it's not really his fault, because, like, he's just trying to protect his family.
Girl, man, I don't know, but it's wild.
Also, there's another one that shows an even younger Vanessa with the fan named Grandpa Afton. The photo is an actual photo from Miriam Spunkin's family. Grandpa Afton being Spunkin's late great-grandfather.
Cool. No idea.
Okay. I didn't know either. So I don't know. Thought you might know that one.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, that's all I picked out. I know there's some stuff that you...
Fuck?
Because I don't understand any of it.
How'd you pick out some of the, like, the least important ones of all?
Because I don't know what's important.
Circus Baby?
Oh, right. Forgot
Are you
about
fucking
that
kidding
one.
me? Circus Baby is literally in
Yeah,
a
Circus
sister
Baby was
location.
found. Oh, also, the ballerina.
Yeah.
Ballora.
The Mininettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girl, what
Sorry.
you doing? Okay. The Mininettes, which you do see inside of the tunnel of the like water ride,
Right.
which is fucking terrifying. Fuck all of that. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
But the Mininettes are essentially a reference because yes, they're the puppet stuff, but they end up being more associated with Ballora in Game 5, which is sister location, who's the ballerina dancer.
Yes.
But the Mininettes kind of do a lot of fuckery shit and are really creepy inside that game to begin with. Also, which they made a full size. This is a real animatronic that they actually made, which was Circus Baby, full big ass machine. That is sister location Game 5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is interesting because there's a lot of shit that is in that's kind of like, okay, how are we going to do that with a lot of what's been talked about now? There's a lot of interesting stuff that's like, how's that possible? How are they going to rectify or change it?
Right.
Because there are things in Game 5 that make you go and look at this movie and go, wait a minute. Even the first one, you're like, wait a minute, wait.
Yeah.
How is this character here? How do you exist?
Right.
Because of something I know later. That's in a different lore situation. So it's like, there's a lot of like curiosity moments that are happening inside of this that are definitely, what the fuck?
Right.
How does this work?
I will say, I don't know much on the lore, and that's evident.
Because I'm trying not to spoil you because I know you also want to play the games.
That's what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I would like to play the games, but I would like to play the games
Fresh.
with
very little spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard when you're doing all of this.
Yeah.
But eventually,
maybe some streamy stuff might occur.
yes.
But that is not an immediate occurrence.
No.
But we're working on it.
Yeah.
We're going to figure shit out.
Yes.
We're going to figure shit out. It'll probably be a Twitch thing. It'll probably be us doing Steam because that's just more realistic to being able to function.
Yep.
And us being able to both kind of be there during the process of it occurring. So we're going to figure things out. We're going to
But that's
deal with different aspects of it.
But that's why I haven't played them yet, why I haven't gone into the lore yet, because when I do, I want it to be fresh.
She'll be able to deep dive.
And yes. So that's why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Is that all your notes?
Yes,
Perfect. You have a 1 star?
I do. There was one star I was going to do, but then I read it and I was like, this shouldn't technically be in the 1 stars because it was a very eloquent review, actually, but it gave too much praise for it to be
a 1 star?
A 1 star, in my opinion. I was like, why is this here? So there was also a few of them comparing this second movie to Marvel Avengers. I don't know in what way, but there was more than one comparing it to that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Maybe it's just because of bringing back the characters from the first film.
Maybe. And like having them do a little battle at the end.
Yeah.
But it's fine. For this one, it's... yeah. I feel like he could have said this nicer.
Okay.
What we have here is untapped potential. As we saw in the trailer, this could have been good. Hell, this could have been great. Yet, you insist on going with a PG-13 rating? You need to get a different director and grow a pair of balls if this franchise has any hope of going past 3. Studio heads, if you're reading this, the kids that grew up on FNAF are all grown now.
No shit, we're all grown. But also, there were many adults that played the game.
Yeah. Who are still adults.
Who are still adults. I'm sorry. did it shit on the idea that there was a woman in charge?
Yes.
Fuck you.
And grow a pair of balls.
Like,
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, I didn't like
Point
that very
blank.
much.
Like, fuck off with all of that. Like, who gives a shit what gender
Like,
the fucking
yeah.
person is,
And-
as long as they're working. And here's the thing. I distinctly remember reading something where she was like, the director literally played the games, did the lore.
Yeah.
She literally joined like the Reddit groups for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
She incorporated herself into that so that she could get things right. So I need y'all to shut your mouth.
I'm glad you could speak on that. I'm glad you could speak on that.
The idea, it's kind of like those memes where you see, I remember seeing one recently, and it's the idea of like people at a convention and there's a girl dressed as a certain character, and it's obviously all drawn meme style, but it's a girl who's dressed in like a really elaborate costume of a character and a dude who's wearing like a fucking t-shirt in reference to something tries to grill her on like, you're not a real gamer, you know, bump bump. And it's like,
bro.
But then a character called Con Mom comes in and is like, I'm sorry, who gives a fuck? She spent hours on this thing. She obviously knows more than you, so shut your fucking mouth.
Period.
Kind of vibe.
Period.
So it's the idea is like, I'm sorry, just because you're a woman does not mean you suddenly can't be into games.
No. I am hella gaming lately.
We're not, most women are not push-up bra holding a controller. Oh my God. No. We're all like, back the fuck up. Get the fuck away from me. I'm playing a game. Get out of my face.
I'm gonna shoot your ass if you were on the other end of the internet.
Like, realize that we women also play video games.
Yes, we do.
Just like normal fucking people.
It's so funny.
Bundled up in a corner in the dark.
Yes.
Fucking playing a game.
It is hilarious because, okay, so when I'm at my apartment and there is one man and the rest of us are girls, and it is so funny because all of us will be sitting on the couch playing our little video games, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, I don't understand why gender has anything to do with it. And the fact that he capitalized balls.
Yeah.
To put some more emphasis on that.
Yeah.
Was a little crazy.
Also bitching about the fact that, like, look, it's, again, you're not going to adapt the video game straight to movie. It's not happening.
And as, you know, two women here, I think we can both say that we've been playing video games our entire lives.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it goes.
Doesn't matter if it's a cute, cozy game.
Right. I was just about to say, and yes, it might be Dreamlight Valley. Yes, it might be Animal Crossing, but guess what?
It's also stuff like Death's Door.
Yes.
It's also stuff like Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
It's also stuff like, come the fuck on, back off. We also do things like Until Dawn.
Oh, hell yeah. I just started playing that again.
Grow up and take a seat. Thanks.
It's hard. They can't comprehend, but it's okay.
But no, it's just
women in male dominated fields.
Yes, please.
I'm not hating on men. I'm hating on the men who hate on women.
Yes. Not all. We are people who understand, not all, but most.
Most.
Not all, but most.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those mosts are loud and annoying.
It's sad, but that's also just the world we live in today, where we've given men the power to continue.
Also, of course, it's not going to be a rated R film.
No. I was not thinking rated R. Just
like
a little bit.
Like,
is there one in between 13 and R? Yes.
Yes.
Is it mature? That's what I was thinking.
I'm like, but even then, I don't really know if it even classifies that. Tarot was PG-13.
Fair enough, and that was
terrifying.
Fuck no.
Tarot was PG-13, and that was terrifying.
Awful. Hate it.
So you know what? PG-13, I'm not worried about whatever the
Fair
rating
enough.
is necessarily speaking.
Okay, then I take back my comment from the beginning because tarot was really scary. Just take some notes. That's it.
Yeah. Because also the game, it's more stressful with really frustrating jump scares versus gory or anything like that. Like,
I honestly, because I don't like gore, so I'm not saying gore. I'm just saying I want a little more scare, which doesn't necessarily mean blood and gross.
Which too many people think that.
Yeah, that's not what I'm...
It's like there can be atmospheric things.
Yes.
Or background things or subtle stuff that happens. But, you know, we digress. But I think that's it.
Yeah.
Our next episode that's going to be coming out is going to be about The Substance.
Okay.
Okay. I understand. Here's what's weird. Look, okay. I haven't seen it yet as of this recording because I'm terrible and have had too much stuff to do.
Valid.
Even though the movie's been out for quite some time.
Well, I just watched it, yesterday?
Literally. There was so much hype around this film, and I know that it did win an award, which is part of the reason why I really want to make sure that we at least watch it, because I know that it won an award for special effects. So I'm down for that.
Is that the only thing it won an award in?
I don't remember. I just know that one specifically is the reason why I wanted to make sure that we really did it.
Gotcha. Because I feel like it...
I think it won other awards,
especially Demi Moore.
But I know for a fact that that's the one that really sunk it into my brain.
The special effects was insane.
So for me, that's the main reason. We'll obviously discuss it when we get to it, so it'll be interesting.
Right.
I'm ready to hear you talking about some crazy body shit. I'm ready.
It's honestly, okay, every person who came up to me and knows that I'm not good with body, knows that I'm not good with it, which is quite a few people. But every time I was like, I'm gonna go watch The Substance, they were just like, good luck. Good luck. And
it wasn't as bad as you thought?
Correct. I see where their concerns were coming from. No, it was not Terrifier. It was not Terrifier in the slightest.
Yeah.
Fuck Terrifier.
That's your body horror nightmares.
That's my body horror nightmares. Get that shit away from me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll never, ever touch that. Thanks. But this was it was gross. Don't get me wrong.
Gross, yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about it before we get into it. But
it's got an interesting level of
I'll definitely share my opinions on it next week.
We need to get you...
Or next episode.
People who are real good at body horror... That's the Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to find some stuff.
Yes.
We're going to have to find some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that leads us in.
Yeah,
since you know
we
what's
can
up,
branch off.
send us an email at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. Do you know any good body horror movies? Do you know any good Japanese... Guys, when we say we want suggestions, at this point, I'm going off a list of that we've created. But if y'all have stuff that you would like us to talk about, literally, just shoot us an email. horrorunmasked@gmail.com. Real easy, real simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise we'll look at it. No worries. You can listen to us literally anywhere where pods are cast. Also let us know in an email if there's anywhere else that you want us to upload to. But I think with that,
there's only one thing left to ask. Will you fear?
Or will you fear not?